So today I'll mostly be talking about Desert Island Discs and the albums that I've been listening to while we've been on lockdown. I'd just like to thank all of you guys. The channel has been doing really well recently, and I've been gaining a lot of subscribers. So I'd like to welcome all the new people that are coming in. Enjoy yourselves here. And don't forget, leave comments down below and make sure to say hello. I always read the comments and I try to answer everything. So, okay, here we go. So one of the only good things to come out of this whole COVID business, I've had a chance to really dive deep into some music and listen to some great stuff that I haven't had a chance to listen to either before or that I've gone back to listen to that I haven't heard in a long time. It's a sort of a Desert Island Disc thing, but I've done one of those already. So this is more about what I've been listening to now, because it's sort of like being on a desert island. So there's new music here, there's old music here, and I think there's something in here for everyone. So if you don't like some of the stuff, you will like some of the other stuff. I guarantee you that. What I forgot to mention, I won't be able to play any of the original music here because obviously the video will be taken down. I will put together a Spotify and an Apple Music playlist so that you can listen to the songs from either of those two places. So hello everybody, how's it going? I'm going to talk today about some of the records, songs, albums, pieces that I've been listening to since the whole lockdown thing has been happening. The first one that I wanted to talk to you about is an album and a piece that I first heard in Longueuil on the south shore of Montreal when I was a kid. And that is Tubular Bells. What I really mean by Tubular Bells is the Tubular Bells Part 1. I realize that a lot of this music is stuff that takes time and patience to enjoy, and it's also music that you can do other things to. A lot of the selections here I really enjoy listening to while reading. So Tubular Bells, Mike Oldfield from 1973. The first section of it was used in the movie The Exorcist. It's amazing also because Mike Oldfield, who I believe was 19 at the time, recorded all the instruments himself. Tubular Bells. Another one from my childhood, and one that probably doesn't get as much attention as it should these days. An album called Foxtrot by Genesis, back in the days when Peter Gabriel was the lead singer. This is another one of those crazy albums and what I guess they would call prog rock, progressive rock. Great songs on the record, but the classic one for me is Supper's Ready. 23-minute long song. You can't imagine anyone today putting out something like this. Great little bits to it. It's got, I don't know how many pieces the song actually is in, but it feels like 5 or 6 songs put together into an absolute masterpiece. It's hard to imagine anyone doing anything quite like this these days. Of course, Genesis have got tons of albums that are worth listening to, but this is the one that I listen to, and I have listened to often during this lockdown. So, a new record that I've been listening to, an album by Floating Points, featuring Pharoah Sanders and the London Symphony Orchestra. A British electronic musician, Sam Shepard, and he goes by the moniker of Floating Points. A friend of mine, John, had mentioned that he heard it on the radio here in Ireland, which is strange, because it's not radio-friendly in any way. So I decided to look it up because I love Pharoah Sanders. Classical, but it's sort of classical, sort of jazz. It's got all kinds of things. A repetitive theme over and over and over again, and you kind of get sucked into it like a meditation, hypnotic in the way that the music moves. If you only want to listen to a small piece of it, I would say to go for Movement 6, which has everybody. It's scarily beautiful and new. One of the albums that I really love, called Journey to the One by Pharoah Sanders. It's not available anywhere for streaming, so I can't put it in this list of records. People often forget about Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants by Stevie Wonder. This album came at what I think was the height of his writing, an absolute masterpiece. But it's not a commercial album by any means. It was the soundtrack for a film, in fact. It was sort of left behind in terms of all of those Stevie Wonder albums that came out in those days. It was released in 1981, and it was actually nominated for many awards, although it didn't win. It's sort of been left behind in the pantheon of Stevie Wonder albums, but it's an amazing listen. So one of the other discs that I've been listening to, and that is a fantastic listen as a whole entire piece, is Dark Side of the Moon. Thinking about the Floyd stuff, there are a few of the other records I think that might have been a less obvious choice. Maybe Metal, for instance, which has the Echoes piece on it, which is fantastic. It's probably been a long time since you've listened to Dark Side of the Moon from beginning to end. It is an amazing piece of music. So that's the one I'm going to go with. And the last piece that I want to talk about is called Jesus' Blood Never Failed Me by Gavin Bryars. This was a piece that was written in 1971, before they were able to put performances this long onto an album. I would sort of say it's a one-of-a-kind piece of music. It's a repeating loop of basically an old wino in the street singing this little ditty, and it was captured by Gavin Bryars. He accidentally left it playing in his lab with the door open, and it was right beside the cafeteria of the school he was working in. He went out to get something to eat and came back half an hour later or something and found that the people in the room, in the cafeteria, were moving slower, and some of them were weeping openly. And he couldn't figure out what was going on, but in fact it was the loop of this old homeless man singing. So from that he decided to write an orchestral piece to the sound of this old soul singing. With the advent of the CD, a 74-minute version of it came out, and it was nominated for the Mercury Prize. Now, the amazing thing about this is that an hour into the song, Tom Waits joins the homeless man singing Jesus' Blood Never Failed Me. It's an unusual and amazing piece of music, to say the least. You need a lot of time and a lot of patience to listen to, but it's absolutely fabulous. Jesus' Blood Never Failed Me by Gavin Bryars. So thanks so much, everybody. I'm really happy that I'm able to share this music with you guys. I hope you enjoy this stuff. I know there's stuff here that's not for everyone, but please do give it a try. I'm absolutely positive that some of it will suit you. I'll see you in a couple of days.